At this point in the semester, you've written a number of scenes for your dramas, often in response to prompts meant to encourage you to think about elements such as character, conflict, or plot. Because of that, some of you may be feeling the need to take a step back and clarify for yourself what it is that you are really trying to write about in this collection of scenes. That means it's an appropriate time to talk about defining the theme of your drama. A great drama inspires its audience to think about ideas. Simply put, the theme of your drama is the main idea that you are attempting to illustrate to your audience through the words and actions of your characters. To connect to our previous video on dramatic journeys in general and on quests in specific, the theme is the idea, the insight that unifies the steps of both the external and internal journeys that your characters are on. That's why at this point in the semester, when you have at least a sense of what happens or what might happen on your character's dramatic journeys, is an appropriate time to try to define the theme of your drama. In another previous video, I made the distinction between the story and the plot of a drama. Before we get too far into our discussion about the theme of a drama, I should first take the time to talk about the difference between the subject and the theme. In The Dramatic Writer's Companion, playwright Will Dunne explains it like this. The subject is the main topic of a drama, and the theme is the point of view about that topic the writer illustrates through the characters, their words, and their actions in it. We tend to express the subject in a word or a short phrase, and the theme in a complete sentence. For example, in Dunne's analysis, the subject of William Shakespeare's plays Othello is jealousy, and its theme is jealousy destroys both the lover and the loved. In the format that Dunne recommends, a theme statement tends to follow that pattern, with the subject as the first word or words in the sentence that expresses the theme. Here are 4 more examples he provides. For Shakespeare's King Lear, blind faith leads to failure. For Shakespeare's Macbeth, power corrupts. For Euripides' Medea, injustice breeds revenge. For Tennessee Williams' A Streetcar Named Desire, dishonesty leads to isolation. In all 5 of these sample theme statements, the first word, or 2 words, in the case of blind faith, express the subject, the main topic, and the rest of the sentence expresses the theme, the point of view about that topic illustrated through the drama. Now, when you try to find the theme of your own drama, understand that it's usually a matter of discovering an idea that you've already woven into the scenes, whether consciously or unconsciously. If the choice of theme has been unconscious on your part, Dunne suggests multiple aspects of your drama that could contain clues to what it is. Let's talk about 4 that fit well with our understanding of a particular type of dramatic journey: character, quest, action, and destination. In terms of your main character, your quester, think about their defining traits, their strengths and weaknesses. Perhaps you've unconsciously picked a theme that relates to one of those traits. Here, think back to the theme of King Lear. In terms of their quest, think about your character's motivation to achieve the goal associated with it. Could that lead you to your theme? Here, think back to the theme of Macbeth. 3. In terms of their main action, while it's true that your quester will likely perform a number of actions on their quest, what is the most important one? Maybe that action or its outcome could help you to define your theme. Here, think back to the theme of Medea. Finally, in terms of the final destination, one of the surest indications of the theme will probably be how the dramatic journey, the quest, ends. Here, think back to the theme of A Streetcar Named Desire. Defining the theme of your drama and expressing it in a short statement should serve to keep you focused on what matters most as you continue to write and edit.